Hello everybody and welcome out to episode 119 of the Save Slot 3 Gamescast. I am your host here of Gizmo, joined this week by Mass of the Das.
Hello everyone.
And of course, Mr. Amazon Luna, Craig Bean Craig.
Hi Dave.
Boys, another week is over in our lives and this is going to be one hell of an episode because we have finally done with SGF after this. Finally. But before
So we get the Meta Quest big show coming, right, boys?
Well, me and Chris will obviously be live streaming that, but let's start with what we always start with: the Pengels news desk. Time for some news.
There's 5 items on the news.
Baker's dozen.
It's like we had a really big summer showcase thing, and now no one has any news.
Right.
Yeah. Number 1, Embracers closed 5 Pieces Interactive, who were behind the Alone in the Dark game this year. I'm very sad about this because I really like that Alone in the Dark game, and I told, it was only last week's episode. Told everyone to go buy it. You should have all gone bought it. Did you buy it, Dave?
I can say that I did, Chris.
See, it's your fault. Pieces Interactive.
I let pieces die.
Yeah,
I let
pieces
them
die.
More sad news in the games industry. Shock horror.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So Embracer, doing Embracer things, aren't they, Craigie, with that?
Yeah, but unfortunately, boys, it's it's business, isn't it? If you make a product and it doesn't sell, it's gonna happen.
Mm.
Everyone shit on this when it came out, right? And now the studio's closed. Are you fuckers happy?
No one's happy, Craig. No one's ever happy.
No one's happy. No.
On one hand, we moan about this, but then we shit on stuff. So,
Innit?
Yeah.
what do you want to do?
Number 2, Helldivers, in the recent major order, had a choice to either go to one planet and try to save 4,311 kids and get no reward for it, or go to another planet and get a new stratagem. The Helldivers decided to save the kids, which in turn, the developers donated £4,311 to save the children. So, all good work from the Helldivers this past week.
Bless them.
Yeah.
Helldivers is a good game, innit?
Yeah. Yeah, we really need to get back and play.
Yeah, we should probably actually play it, right, boys?
When our lead PlayStation editor, Mr. Christopher J. Pengelli, never initiates any PlayStation multiplayer, what can we do?
Exactly.
Craig's over there running his Amazon Luna editorial, and I'm here keeping Xbox alive, so,
Yeah,
Come on,
see,
Chris.
I will try to remind you all the concourse.
Fuck's sake, you got no chance, Chris.
Yeah. We all forked out for Helldivers and don't play. I don't think we're going to make that mistake again, Pengi.
Number 3, Beyond Good and Evil 20th anniversary is actually real, and it's coming out next Tuesday, digitally, and there will be a physical coming later. I think the pre-orders will go up on July for the physical through limited run. But even more shocking, it includes a new mission, which was going to tie into the second game. Will we ever see that second game, Dave?
No.
No. The new mission's good, but what's the point of the new mission tying into the second game when that game will never happen? But are you excited that you can play Beyond Good and Evil for, Craig? Yeah, I was going to say for the first time, but obviously the HD remaster is backwards compatible on series,
Which
but it's being delisted.
So they have delisted it because it's probably almost exactly the same as what they're charging for now.
Not really, to be honest with you, Pengi. I mean, there's just so much other stuff to play, isn't there?
There is. It's an okay
And
game now.
That new game is deader than dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's deader than the PSVR 2, right, boys?
Wow.
Could be. I haven't really got on here, but there was other stuff from Limited Run Showcase. Fighting Forces coming back.
Yeah,
I really like that as a kid.
I did laugh because there's two. As far as I'm aware, there's 2 Fighting Force games, right?
Yeah.
And they're drastically different. Yeah, so that's interesting.
Yeah, so the Fighting Force collection, but yeah, they are 2 different type of genres. Like the first one was supposed to be Streets of Rage 4, and then the second one's gone for more like Metal Gear-y sort
It's
of
like a third-person
things.
action game. I played it on Dreamcast, Fighting Force 2.
Yeah,
I had
so
that.
it's
One of the
very
ones that came with my Dreamcast, I think. I might be wrong.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah, Gex is also coming back.
Oh, did Gex ever leave us?
Bubsy's coming back. So, all your old favourites are coming back.
90s AA games, Craigo, they're back.
I don't even know if you can call them double A. Gex.
Fighting
Force. Fighting Force though. That's great. Number 4 on my news, Yoz Rising is got a date, it's coming September. I think we all quite like the look of this when it was in, I don't know what showcase it was in a couple of months ago now. This is from Way Forward, this one.
Yeah, it was interesting. It's part of their new push, isn't it, Atari? But
yeah.
Yeah, the problem is as Craig, I'm sure, will repeat on ad nauseum, there is too many games at the end of the year now. So, yeah, it's one of those, when it comes to a service or a sale, I'd love to check it out because I do quite like Atari. But other than that, it's cool.
Yeah, it needs to come to a service, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it's hard for indie games otherwise.
It's a service or an extreme
special
sale, isn't it? I think that's like I was having this inner monologue earlier when I was looking at the eShop, and I was thinking, God, I'll buy a game under a tenner, but if something's £11 and it's an indie game, I will wait for it to come to Game Pass or Plus. But yeah, there we go. On you go, Pengi.
And the last bit of news: Xbox will be at Gamescom. And they will have their biggest booth ever. Apparently, they've still got some announcements there announced. But both Nintendo and PlayStation will be totally skipping Gamescom. So
when is Gamescom?
It's sometime in August.
Okay.
Yeah, it's always pretty soon after, like, not E3. Then you've got, like, the month after that, you've got Tokyo Game Show. So, 21st to 25th of August is Gamescom.
Have you been to Gamescom, Pengi, or was it EGX you went to?
No, I went to EGX a couple of times.
Yeah, because Gamescom's in Cologne. I think I've been before.
Yeah, Cologne.
Yeah, it's a cool show actually. It's one of those type of shows that if you ever have a desire to go to a game show, just to experience it, it's probably one of the better ones to do, because it's not as shit as like Birmingham or London. To be perfectly honest with you, and Cologne's a lovely city, so catch an FC Cologne game afterwards, Craigo.
Yeah. So and obviously opening night live will be part of Gamescom, won't it, with Jeff? So that will be a thing. But it's interesting that both PlayStation and
there's another Jeff show then, yeah? Fuck.
Yeah, there is another Jeff show. Yeah.
Oh god.
But both Nintendo and PlayStation are totally skipping the show, so Xbox have basically it to themselves. Obviously, there'll be third parties like your Segas and stuff there, most probably as well. But yeah, what do you think they will show? Because personally, I only really want them to date the games they still have to date this year, like Avowed, then show any new stuff.
There wouldn't be anything big on there. It never is at Gamescom. Every year people go, "Oh, that's going to be massive stuff." It never is.
Your best hope is to see more of the European-based developer games. So there might be a new trailer for Fable, but I don't think it'll be like a date. But you know what I mean? Like it's a very European show usually, so will be lots of Forza, I would guess. If there's a Forza expansion, I don't think they're going to show it. But if they were, it'd be them. They have said, to be fair to them on record, that they had too much to show at this one, so they have kept some stuff for Gamescom. It's not going to be the big stuff. It'll be the stuff.
Maybe like Tower Ball. And
that's
stuff.
what I was going to say. The stuff we know about, what we didn't see.
Like that's what I was thinking.
Everwild. If there's going to be an update on Everwild, it will be.
That would be there.
That's why I said Craigo. If they were to do a more deep dive into the Sea of Thieves content, that would be where they do it. It's that type of show. It's like I said, it's a cool show. If you ever get a chance to go to Gamescom, it's pretty fun. But yeah, what I want them to, Greg. You remember they used to do the Xbox convention? What's it called, Pengi? They did one in Mexico.
Yeah, I know. Mexico was like last year. Or the year before.
Yeah, I think it was like 21, sadly. But yeah,
I think they have done one over here.
They did one in London, didn't they?
In London, yeah.
If they could do one in somewhere fun in Germany or France, like that'd be a boys' weekend, wouldn't it? That.
Yeah, man, that
unleashes hate.
Pengi.
Yeah.
Pengi won't be allowed in. He's
stabbing people or something.
There'll be a little tiny bar, like two crackheads talking about PlayStation. Do you want to buy a PlayStation there, Pengi? Whereas me and you'll be in there talking to Daddy Phil, having a great time, Craigie.
Yeah, and that is the news.
Oh, thank you, Pengi. That was very, very concise for you. Now, the reason there wasn't much news is because there was another big showcase. So, I'm going to hand it over to our showcase host, Mr. Craig Warren.
Yep, boys, we had a big Nintendo Direct, and it was at 3 o'clock for us on a Thursday, right? Was it?
It were.
Yep.
This is a strange time, wasn't it? But especially when you got Euros on at the moment as well. So there's football happening at the same time. It's all going on.
It was because that's like 10 o'clock Japan time. That's why they did it. It's 7 a.m. for most US places, right? But they always complain, I've got to get up early. I'm like, come on, watch a wrestling event in Europe, you losers.
Yeah, fucking get over it.
Right.
Yeah, I do like now wrestling is like the Yanks to moaning about like whatever one was in France and the UK one and Saudi Arabia because of the times.
Get fucked.
I'll change my tune next year, but anyway, carry on.
Yes, definitely. So we started off hot, boys. We had Mario and Luigi Brothership was announced and shown. This is the first Mario and Luigi game for 9 years, apparently, we were told. And this is getting a release date of November 7th on the Switch. Dave, you've been enjoying the kind of weird Mario RPG resurgence, right? You played Paper Mario and Super Mario RPG.
I did.
It's another one for you. I imagine you're going to be all in this shit, right?
Already pre-ordered. But to be honest with you, Mario and Luigi it's the weird one. It's the third pillar of the Mario RPG. But what it is the best of both. And it's really strange that it's never really taken off. To the point of which the developer got closed down last year. So my guess is that this is Next Level, who make the sports games. Just because of the animation they use for one of the attacks.
Oh yeah, when he kicks the red shell.
Yeah, it's very similar. So for you two non-believers, I think of the Mario RPG games, this is the one that you would quite like because it's very much like that Expedition 33. But you do a lot of interacting. It's not a flat, as you can see from the trailer, which is shown right now. It's a very much timing heavy RPG. Like you time your blocks, you time your attacks. It's one of those. Always funny writing. I can't believe it's coming back. To be honest with you, I kind of accepted that this was dead. So the fact that they've brought a new one out in 3D this year, pretty sick. To be honest with you.
Pengi, is this going to make you turn the Switch on in November?
It does look good, and at the moment I would be getting it. It really depends what comes out in November around that time. I've had a look. The game before it that I would like would be Life is Strange, which is late October, and then the next game after it is like Assassin's Creed, which is like the 15th of November. So it has got a chance of being picked up and played at the moment. But you know, if Lego Horizons or Avowed gets dated for 8th of November or something, I'll be playing them instead.
How about
Fair enough. Oh, the Switch should be long gone by then.
Sad times.
Don't already hope
what
for
did you think of the trailer, Craig? At least.
Oh, I thought it looked fun. The interactive, the combat and all that looked pretty cool. But yeah. If you're hoping for Craig to start buying some Switch games here, boys. Then,
no, just your opinion. That's all we need.
After that, we had the Nintendo World Championships NES edition.
Hell yeah.
And we've seen this before, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's here July the 18th, apparently. I don't know if we already knew that.
Yeah, the pre-orders went up last month.
There you go. So we basically just got another showing of this. It's basically like a speed-running, competitive, like, smoz, right, of old NES games.
Yes, yeah, I think that's a pretty apt description.
I'll be honest, when I watched this, I thought this is something that should be part of like a service or something. The idea of paying for this seems a bit weird to me. But
yeah, I can kind of see that. It's a difficult balance, I think, for Nintendo compared to the other ones because their service just isn't that type of thing. It's so cheap. You know what I mean? Like the service in reality is quite cheap, but I can see the reasoning. They showed quite a lot in this trailer. To be fair, lots of new content. It's a Nintendo person's game though. I've got to say it's not a game that's going to get anyone to buy a Switch. But if you're my age or older, you're probably losing your shit for this kind of stuff, I think.
Pengi, you're older than Dave. Are you losing your shit?
No, not really. I'm not bothered that.
Chris is in his Nintendo is dead to him phase, because 2 years ago Chris would have literally jizzed his pants at that special edition, and he knows it. So.
I played NES Remix on my Wii U. You know, that was good.
That's not the same game, but yeah. Anyway, on we move.
After that, we had from Koei Tecmo. We had Fairy Tail 2, which is apparently a real-time strategy game. It's coming this winter. Did either of you play the first Fairy Tail from Koei Tecmo?
No, and I've not watched the anime, so we can move on very quickly.
Is that what this is from?
Yes,
is it?
It's a licensed thing. Yeah.
Oh, fuck that shit, am I right? But one that I know you're both excited for after that, we had Fantasian Neo Dimension, which I believe has been stuck on, is it the Apple Arcade or some bullshit like that?
Apple Arcade has been stuck on for quite a few years.
Yeah, Dave, this is the guy that made is it Lost Odyssey as well?
Lost Odyssey, Blue Dragon, Final Fantasy, famously.
There you go. Sounds like a Dave Ask Dave then game, am I right?
Yeah, I mean very price dependent. Because like Chris said, there's a lot coming out. But yeah, this is if this is physical, I know that on Switch, I think it's an absolute day one, because obviously you can play it and then sell it. But digital only, I think I'll still get it. I mean, I've played all their other games. I love Mistwalker. I said Lost Odyssey is in my top 10 games of all time. Final Fantasy like 9 and 10 are in there, up there as well. So it looks good. It looks very mobile game. It's also weird that the trailer doesn't talk about its whole point is that all of the backgrounds are like real dioramas that they've like put the characters on, because it's actually quite a good looking game, but they just did not mention it in the trailer whatsoever. But yeah, quite excited for it.
And Enix has picked it up to publish as well on so I guess, I don't know if Apple published it and their publishing thing's finished and then Square's picked it up.
Yeah, I think so.
And weirdly, like Apple Arcade had some new games like that Sonic game. I think it was this year. Everyone says it's really good, but then Ninja Turtles is leaving Apple Arcade and going to Switch, I think next month. And the Shantae game that launched on Apple Arcade as well is being totally delisted. It's all on other systems, so you can play it like fine. But yeah, it's like a weird, like, I don't know if they all signed 2-year deals or something a couple of years ago, and they're all suddenly now leaving that service, or sort of thing.
It makes sense. It's quite easy to port mobile games to the Switch. Obviously, this is also coming to Xbox and PlayStation, I believe. So that's quite cool. Because I know, like Square Enix did say last month, they want to kind of put everything on all consoles now. So it is kind of exciting that if you're an Xbox only owner, this is one of those for that fabled handheld that keeps leaking. This would be quite a high one for that, I think. Obviously, a Game Pass would help for the likes of Krago, but yeah, good to see games everywhere.
Hell yeah. After that, we had an update for Switch Sports. Just basketball is now added, boys. Pengi, do you still own Switch Sports? This is one of your weird buys you had when you used the Switch.
I don't own Wii Sports.
I was about to say, you could have jumped back in, couldn't you, and played some basketball. It's a shame. Dave, I guess you don't own Switch Sports.
No, I had it. I bought it for New Year. To play with my girlfriend and her friends, and then I sold it afterwards for how much I paid for it, because I was like, well, I'm not going to sit here on my own and play the motion control game. But it's actually really annoying, because this is one of the games that I would have kept it for, because I feel like my girlfriend would have gone crazy to play basketball, just done 3-pointers the whole time. But yeah, it's a bit weird, isn't it? Because this game was 2 years ago. It sold really well though. It didn't sell like 13 million or something, Chris.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's a Switch game. But yeah, it's wild that we're getting the second free sport. But it's cool that it's free. It's obviously quite a big update, isn't it? Really.
Yeah. After that, we had the Hollow Knight Silksong isn't here, but here's a game that if you squint hard enough, it maybe looks like Hollow Knight Silksong in MIO Memories in Orbit. This is like a watercolor 2D Smoz might be a Metroidvania. Who knows? It looked quite pretty. I thought maybe one of the better things I thought at the on the show. And it's coming next year. I don't know if this is coming to anything else other than Nintendo. Polygon has not given me any more details than that. But I thought this looked pretty promising. How about you, Pengi?
Yeah, now watching the trailer for it, I feel I must have glazed over this one. It does actually look quite good. I'm just seeing if it's coming to.
It's coming to Switch, PS5, and PS4.
Yeah.
Can't see Xbox, but don't let me. I'll have a look. It is also coming to Xbox One and Series X and S. It's coming to everything.
What about you, Davey? Indie trash or?
For me.
Yeah, indie trash
thought,
or no?
No, I thought it looked quite good. So what I do whenever there's a Nintendo Direct, I re-watch the show on the Switch, on the OLED, because obviously on a smaller screen is kind of what the games are actually going to look like. I know that's a really silly thing to do, but like, if for Switch games it's really important because they look ugly when you watch them on a 4K 50-inch screen. And this looks stunning on a little OLED screen, I must say. The art style is really interesting. I quite like the look of it. I'm not one for the indie games, as you know, but no, I honestly was like, oh, this looks really, really good, really interesting. Again, is it price? Is it a service? You know what I mean? But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by it, Craig, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah, hopefully it's not hard as dicks like
Hollow Knight. I keep looking at Hollow Knight because it keeps dropping to like £2 or £3 on Switch, and I'm like, oh, do I?
Because is it on Game Pass and Plus?
It is, but it's not handheld. Like as I mentioned earlier, under a tenner, I can be persuaded. And also, is it a D-pad heavy game? Because I feel like on Xbox that's a real problem.
Yeah, mainly. You maybe want to use the D-pad.
But,
maybe me and Craig could check it out on Portals and you know.
Yeah,
so.
right. Again, I didn't even realise it was on Plus, but because the D-pad.
I'm
on the
sure it's on Plus.
I think it probably is. The D-pad on the DualSense is a lot better, but yeah. Well, I'll wait for Silk Song. Hardy.
Yeah, you could be waiting a long time, Davey.
Is this one of your interested ones for you, Craigo? Memories in Orbit?
Now
you know it's coming to Xbox.
I don't know if interested. I thought it looked cool. I haven't seen enough. I don't know enough about it to look cool. If it's hard as dicks as Hollow Knight, then I'm out. But after that, we had an update for Disney Illusion Island, which was during the glory days of the Switch. This was the Pengi game that you enjoyed a lot.
Yeah.
Sold it to me. I never played it. Still somewhere on the shelf, I think. Did this make you want to rebuy Disney Illusion Island, Pengi? To play on your Switch to play the update?
No, not really.
Sure, so I have a copy here, right here, Pengi. You can buy it.
No,
eh?
No, it's not a game that I would rebuy. It's not like Final Fantasy 16, which I think about rebuying to play the DLC. It's it's not that sort of game. It's not a big, massive expansion or something.
Right, on to the next one. Davey, did you look at this and go, what I want to do is buy Disney Illusion Island right now so I can play this update?
It's one of those things. I think, cause obviously my friend Lucy worked on it. Her art style's quite. Yes, she did Battletoads as well. That's why it looks quite similar. Right, that's the game you played, wasn't it? Battletoads.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She did both of those, so I was like, it looks interesting. It just didn't look gameplay enough for me. It looked fun. Like if I was going to play, like if me and Chloe were going to play a multiplayer type of game like that, I think I probably would because it seems quite straightforward and like fun. There's like a couple like to do the puzzles and stuff, but. Yeah, probably not going to buy the Disney game right now. I know. I could just borrow
it. Boys, there's a copyright here that one of you can have, right?
I'd borrow it, Craig.
I don't know how much Craig is saying, but I think it's bad it's that expensive because it's it's not a proper Nintendo like Switch exclusive like a Zelda Breath of the Wild, which is still £50 7 years later.
It's a 10 out of 10 experience, boys. You both need to rebuy it. Moving on.
Yeah.
We had a timed Nintendo exclusive, and that was Hello Kitty Island Adventure.
Which weirdly was
Animal Crossing like.
Which weirdly was an Apple Arcade game as well. I think we brought that up earlier.
It was also a joke on South Park many years ago. That they called there was a made up game that Butters was playing called Hello Kitty Island Adventure. It's weird that that's what they actually called it when they decided to make the island game. It's definitely a coincidence, but The Simpson
Fucking
like
Inception.
thing. Yeah, not for me, Craigo. We can move on as quick as you want.
No. After that, we had another weird one. We had Looney Tunes, which, God, I didn't know that was still a thing. Wacky World of Sports. A sports game based around Looney Tunes, boys. Did that do anything for either of you?
I think if I was a kid, I'd be really excited for this because this looks like a fun game. Ugly as sin, but yeah, not for an adult. I don't think so.
No, like the football they were showing looks like pretty similar to the Mario Strikers. I don't know if it's like some old team members from there have gone and made their own, and it's Looney Tunes. But yeah, like they said, it does not look great.
No, not at all. Moving on, we had a free update for Among Us.
Yeah,
cool.
We can move swiftly on from that.
Yeah. After that, we had a game with a very weird name as announced. This is Far Magia.
Oh,
Now, I'm going to say
awful.
Yeah, this was a game. I believe you were growing little
Animals.
wolves or something on your plants, and then the plants hatch the little wolves, and then it almost looked like a Pikmin-y sort of thing, where you then you're sending these wolvy things that you've just hatched out of a plant to go and fight for you. I think that's what was happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a marvelous Marvelous game, isn't it?
You laugh, but 2 years ago you would have been here fighting.
Oh yeah,
for death
he had a pre-ordered this 2 years ago. This would be like game
I was going to say So a chap in work when he first saw this thought, oh yeah, I really like look at this, like the combat not Pikmin but Overlord.
Yeah, which is just Pikmin but on Xbox.
Yeah, it's the sort of game, and then he saw the farming aspect and totally zoned it out, and so not on the farming.
Yeah,
no.
Lots of big tit anime girls though, Chris, so you're all in.
It is November 1st though, if you do change your minds in the upcoming months, boys. After that, we had Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, which apparently was originally released on the Wii. Did either of you play the original Wii release, boys?
No, and then it got re-released again, Cray, on the 3DS. So this
I thought you were going to say the Wii U then. That's what I was expecting.
No, so this is its third release.
Well, it is. Third time's a charm, they say.
But finally, they've combined the playing it on a console and not having bad controls. So I'm actually quite excited for this because it's a good-ass game.
There you go, and it's coming January 16th.
Yes, so one of the last pure Switch 1 games, I would imagine.
You say until it goes on and on and on. We live in this world forever.
Money talks, Grego. Money talks.
After that, we had Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake. This was obviously announced quite a while ago, I believe. And this is finally kind of the big coming out party for it, right? We actually saw quite a bit of gameplay, and we got a date, which is November 14th by the looks of it. And then they also announced that they were going to do a similar HD 2D remake of Dragon Quest 1 and Dragon Quest 2. So you could get the whole story of whatever the hell this dude's called.
Yes, Endrick. The Endrick trilogy.
The Endrick trilogy, yes.
Which is what they've got on the front of all the boxes, I did notice, on all of the versions of the game.
Yeah.
You might be thinking that's a weird order, Craig. 3's coming first, and then 1 and 2 is like one thing. No, 3 is the first one in chronological order.
3 was a prequel.
Yeah.
There you go. It all makes sense, right? They knew what they were doing.
So it should go like 3, 1, 2. So.
Weirdly, I don't know if any of us are really Dragon Quest people, right? But I'm gonna go to Pengles first and hope that he's the Dragon Quest person. Pengi, are you a Dragon Quest person?
I'm not much of a Dragon Quest person. It's like, weirdly, I've never really liked Akira Toriyama's art style of like Dragon Quest,
I'm very pleased to announce that this is the last episode of this podcast.
Yeah, I've never really liked that art style. Sorry, people. So
wow.
And
great.
Dragon Quest
doesn't speak for us all. Just want to let everyone know.
So Dragon Quest in Europe, like we didn't get to like the PS2 and stuff. So it's always been like 3D and looked like that. So I've never been a big fan. I tried 12 on Switch. and it felt very, very old school JRPG. Like we were going back to like the PS1, PS2 era and sort of thing. But this is really good. Like going to the 2D HD art style of like your triangle strategies and your Octopath Travelers and your Knife, like it looks very good. I'm very excited about this. So this could be my first sort of like Dragon Quest I really get into. Thing. And then if I like this one in turn, I would be excited to 1 and 2. And I would be picking this up on PlayStation and playing a bit on the Portal. Bit of handheld goodness.
Oh yeah. What about you, Davey? You jumping into this one?
Well, obviously, knows more. Chris is from the future if he's played Dragon Quest 12, as that's not out yet.
11, you know what? 11.
Yeah, so I played 7 quite a lot on PS2, and then I played, I think it was 8 on DS. I think 8 was on DS, and then they did 9 on DS as well, on 3DS, I think. So yeah, a little bit more than Pengi. Yeah, I'm very excited for this. I think I'll probably play it on Switch, just because it's £10 cheaper on Switch than it is on the other 2 platforms. And I think it'll work better as a handheld. Obviously, I don't have a Portal. And I like playing my handhelds on like flights and stuff, so... but yeah, it looks really interesting. Like everyone said, we all love the art style. Recently going back to Octopath Traveler, like it's a cool art style. It works really well. It's a very clever way to use limited resources to make games look good, if that makes sense. And it's very much their own niche. But yeah, it's cool that all 3 games are coming. Like I said, it's cool that they're all coming to Xbox as well, so you can play quite a lot of Dragon Quest stuff on Xbox now. Obviously, it's on PlayStation for those that like that. But yeah, how about you, Craig? Is this one that would tempt you on one of your platforms?
Probably not to buy at launch, but I could see this maybe getting a go when it eventually comes to a service. We see if I like it or not.
Yeah, that's fair. And they did put 11 November on Game Pass at one point, I believe. So
yeah, and it's on Plus as well. Plus, I think. Yeah. So yeah, I can see it coming. See it coming to services, and that's probably where I'd try it out. After that, we had another look of Funko Fusion, which is coming to Nintendo Switch on September 13th. I think we saw this a little while ago, right? We all thought it looked better than we thought it would.
Yeah, the Switch version looks rough, though. God.
Yeah, it really does. I'm watching it now, and it's something, isn't it?
Yeah, it is pretty inconsistent.
And I think the Switch version is later as well. I feel the other consoles are earlier than that. Unless they've moved the date of the Switch.
It will
version.
sell the best on Switch as well, which is wild.
Yeah.
But not for me. I don't think it's for any of us really. But
no. Like when they announced it, when I did it on the news, some of the IPs are kind of cool on there, but that's about it.
Yeah. After that, we had another trailer ad thing for Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. Which is very soon, right? June 27th, according to this. Davey, is this I think you've pre-ordered this and un-pre-ordered this about 7 times, right? Is it on the pre-order or on non-pre-order at the moment?
It is on the pre-order now that I've sold Paper Mario.
There you go.
It's next week, next Thursday. We'll be playing it on my 2 flights to and from Canada. I suspect that'll be enough to finish it, as long as the battery on the Switch is okay. But yeah, excited for this. It's solid Nintendo goodness. That's what you could say.
Pengi, did you play the original? If not,
yeah, I played the original.
How much of it did you play though, Chris? Before you make your comments.
Not a huge lot, okay. But I played enough.
Enough? Was it not very good?
Yeah, it was fine.
Okay. Yeah. So that's him saying he just wants that. Right, after that, boys, you're going to really have to help me here. We had the new Demper Men. Which was apparently a weird version of Animal Crossing with mini-games, and it's coming July 27th. This looks fucking terrifying, boys. I have no idea what this is.
There was quite a few of them on the 3DS, I believe.
Oh, yeah, go.
Yeah, they're crazy Japanese craziness. They're supposed to be really fun.
There you go.
This one's free to play.
Yeah, I think this is a port, maybe, of a mobile version. I could be wrong, but I think maybe.
Hell yeah.
It was version arcade as well.
Yeah. Probably. After that, we had a Metal Slug game, boys. People like that shit, right? This was Metal Slug Attack Reloaded, which is coming to Nintendo Switch on Tuesday. So I'm guessing that's already out.
It's already out. It's actually on all platforms, and it's a tenner.
There you go. Do either of you like Metal Slug?
I love Metal Slug, but not a weird tower defense version of Metal Slug.
Is that what this is?
Yeah,
there's one of these coming out, isn't there? That was announced.
There's a tactics one, like an RT, like a Fire Emblem-y.
Yeah, that one looks pretty good.
Yeah, that one's it's been on my thing for a while, but yeah, I mean, again, next time it's in a sale, I'll try. Yeah, Metal Slug's a great game series. SNK, Neo Geo shenanigans.
I can't remember which one I had. I had one of them on Neo Geo Pocket Color. It's great.
I have most of them on Xbox 360 XBLA that are backwards compatible. I do play them every now and then. I think I played one like a month ago and got a new achievement. They're quite hard, obviously.
Yeah. Yep. After that, we had a Gothic roguelike role-playing game, Darkest Dungeon 2. Lost me at roguelike. I imagine it's lost all of us.
Right. Yeah.
I loved the first one. The first one was great.
Okay. Are you jumping back in, Davey?
I'm very tempted. It's not that expensive. I looked not that long ago, but yeah, it's
15 quid.
Yeah, I think you might be right. But yeah, the first one's a fantastic game. It's not as roguelitey as you think it is. It just kind of it's a game that just fucks with you, and I kind of love it for it. But it's a turn-based, turn-based schmoz really. But yeah, I really enjoyed the first one. I played it for like 10-15 hours on the Vita. So I would be tempted to try this one. This is one I wish. I don't know if one of us has got on the Fantasy Critic. It might even be me, but if it isn't, I should have, because this will review well.
Yeah, people love that weird shit, don't they? Yeah. After that, we had a Nintendo Switch Online update, boys. Where we announced that we were getting The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, 4 Swords, Metroid Zero Mission, Turok, Dinosaur Hunter, and Perfect Dark are all coming to the online expansion pass thingy. Any of those do anything for you, Pengorst?
Kind of, sort of 3 out of 4. I don't care about Turok, and it's actually had a remaster and stuff as well. If I was going to play it, I should probably go for that. Trophies look better, achievements, wherever I play it. Perfect Dark is cool because it has online multiplayer, which I believe that was also the thing with GoldenEye, where the Xbox versions of that don't. That's kind of
pretty sure the Xbox version of Perfect Dark has online multiplayer.
See, they were making out that was like the big feature, that is multiplayer, and like they did with GoldenEye.
With GoldenEye, isn't it the weird like it's split screen, but it isn't online multiplayer?
Yeah, it is weird. Like the GoldenEye was, we played it once on GNA before, and it's weird playing 4 players split screen online, but it's the only way to play that game online, like officially, sort of thing. So that's like a neat thing. And then the other 2, so Link to the Past was already on there on the Super Nintendo, but the GBA version obviously has the 4th thing, which is a multiplayer thing, which obviously was a pain in the ass back in the day to play, because you had to have 4 GBAs, 4 copies of the game, 4 link cables, and obviously like 4 friends. I remember I played it 2-player, but I've never played it with 4 people, sort of thing. So that'd be kind of cool to see if we somehow arranged on GNAME stuff. Like I said, we only did GoldenEye once, so doing Zelda, a whole story-based game.
It's not very long though. I think it's like a couple of hours long.
Yeah, I guess it'd be a little bit painful. And then Zero Mission, it's totally single player. That I really liked. Was it last year I played it? Was Fusion I played, and that was really good. Maybe my second or third favorite Metroid game, because I've weirdly got into Metroid with the Switch. So I'm very excited to play Zero Mission. It's one I'm not going to go turn my Switch on to just play Zero Mission, but when next time I do turn my Switch on, Zero Mission actually will get played.
Oh yeah. What about you, Dave?
I think Zero Mission's probably the one I'd like to play, just because it works really well for handheld. Not that fussed about playing Link to the Past, and the other 2, like I said, they are in much better condition to play on Xbox. So if I was going to play Perfect Dark, I'd play the Game Pass version, and like I think Turok's remaster is even on Switch. So if I was going to play it, I'd play. I'm not. But
did Turok 1 have multiplayer? Because they haven't shown the multiplayer in the future.
I want to say
was it
no.
Turok 2?
I think it was 2, and then they did a specific multiplayer one. I think it was called Rage Wars. Yeah, so yeah. But I'm not a big N64 shooter guy because they were awful. But yeah, Zero Mission, Craigo.
Oh yeah. After that, we had the most anime-looking thing in the world, and that was Phantom Brave: The Lost Hero, which is apparently coming in 2025. Pengi, you're the anime guy. Help me out here.
I remember owning this on the Wii, and I think that's the last time we had a Phantom Brave game. But that's about all I can really tell you. It looks a tactics based from what I'm seeing in this trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not jumping back in.
No, not jumping back in.
No, I can't imagine you could play this, Davey. Chloe would judge you too much, right?
Yeah, it's one of those you have to play in handheld. It looks fine for what it is, but it's the most NIS America looking game I think I've ever seen. To be honest with you, I assumed it was Disgaea when I first saw the character art.
Yeah, because it's got all the Disgaea characters in it.
If you like NIS, then this will be fun, I'm sure.
Yeah. And after that, we had an arcade classics collection, which is Marvel vs. Capcom fighting games. 7 of them apparently in one. Dave, you love a good fighting game, right? You've beaten the shit out of me and Pengi multiple times and all sorts of fighting shenanigans.
I have.
Were you an arcade guy with Marvel vs. Capcom?
Yeah, it's a pretty good collection. I'll be honest. I mean, Chris will obviously tell you this when we get to him, but like a lot of these games are incredibly expensive or are delisted, so it's quite a cool collection to get. They've also got the Punisher, which is a beat 'em up like Battletoads and Streets of Rage and stuff, so that's pretty cool. And to get online multiplayer for them as well. They did a beat 'em up collection that was pretty good, and I think they did a Street Fighter collection as well that was also pretty good.
Yeah, the beat up one had like Darkstalkers and stuff on in there.
Yeah, it had like loads of games that had never been released over here. So if this is well priced, I'd absolutely like to play it. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is an incredible game on its own. So when you throw in all the other stuff as well, and like I said, online multiplayer and the Punisher game, I think it's a pretty cool collection if you like this type of stuff.
What about you, Pengi?
Yeah, and like Dave said, some of these games are pretty expensive now, and so it's like a cheap way to play them like officially and stuff like that. And Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is most probably the best 2D fighter ever. So that in the collection is pretty good one. Thing it'd be interesting, like how many people jump online and start playing it on. For online multiplayer, I don't know if it's crossplay between PS4 and Switch. Definitely help if it is between those two platforms, but you never know.
Hell yeah! And then after that, we had what I imagine is going to be Chloe's game of the show, which was Super Mario Party Jamboree, which is coming to the Switch on October 17th. Apparently, you get up to 20 players can compete online. I'm going to imagine that's just the mini games, like you just.
No, there's a whole mode that has like a board and 20-player mini games and stuff.
I want Chloe to be a pro Super Mario Party Jamboree player by the end of the year.
She's pretty good at Mario Party, to be honest. I think she we're both very excited for this, and this has been pre-ordered. Yeah, they love it. They get it right, don't they? This will be good. This will be fun. But yeah, really excited for this. They showed a lot. There's a lot of content in this. I think it might be the biggest one.
Yeah, I'm sure they said it was the biggest one. There's some classic levels as well thrown in. I think they said, didn't they?
Yeah. So yeah, really excited for this.
Hell yeah! And then after that, big one for Pengi is he's Mr. Zelda. You got the Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. Zelda's gone woke, boys. You can play as the princess. This was the kind of the stylized, like the Link's Awakening remake game, as opposed to the newer open world ones, right? And obviously the jazz of this one is you're playing as Princess Zelda. You're not fighting with a sword, but you're kind of like cloning items and beasts and stuff, and then using them to kind of puzzle around, right? I know you very much like the last, is it Link's Awakening remake, Pengi? That's one of your favourite Switch games, right? So I imagine this is right up your street.
This is the day one pre-order buy. This is very exciting. It doesn't matter what. It's not like Mario and Luigi or something might be around it. I might play them instead. No, this will be getting played the day it comes out. Very excited for this
September 26th. So yeah, not too far away either, Pengi. No. I imagine this is. Will you be day one for this, Davey?
Yeah, I'd like to be. Yeah, I think it looks really cool. Very different. Like it's almost like a melding of a Link's Awakening HD and, dare I say it, Breath of the Wild, or maybe more Tears of the Kingdom, to be honest with you. I think it's a very interesting concept. I think it's a very interesting game for them to make.
See, you said, mate. See, it obviously looks like Link's Awakening remake, which is Grezzo, but I don't know if it has been confirmed if it is Grezzo or not. That's making it.
Anuma's doing the directing stuff, right? So it must be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a very interesting idea for a Zelda game. I think it's cool. I think it's a gorgeous looking game. Looked really good when I watched the trailer again on the OLED, I must say. And I just like the idea. The puzzly idea of it seems quite interesting for a handheld game. And I'm just glad they're reusing that art style because it's such a good looking game. I just hope it runs better. That's the only thing I think we all hope.
Yeah, I thought the way they showed it was very good as well. It was a game that needed someone narrating over the top of it. Otherwise, you would have just been like, why is she just like... Why are there just beds sporting all over the place? What the fuck's going on?
Tables?
Yeah. What is this? So I thought that was very good. And obviously the idea of it seems to be that like you two could both play this game but be completely different in the way you achieve the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Going very different paths and how you defeat certain bosses and that, I'd imagine. So it's pretty cool concept, right? And after that, he had a new Nintendo Switch Lite announced, boys. I say that's a new one. It's a new limited edition, which is the Hyrule Edition, boys, which is coming on the same day. Penguins, you love a limited edition console. You gonna buy a Lite?
Yeah, I do love a limited edition console, but as the Switch 2 is pretty soon, no, I will not be buying this.
Yeah, that's a shame.
I do have a Zelda GBA, a DS, and a new 3DS. So maybe I need a complete set.
You're almost letting yourself down not buying it, aren't you? Yeah. But one of your favourite, your kind of go-tos in video games, Pengi, I know, is Just Dance, and we saw Just Dance 2025 edition, which says Ariana Grande, Eno, Sia, and more artists, boys. There's even more than those three, apparently. This is coming in October.
It's got 40 new tracks, apparently.
Which would be 2024. But this is 25 edition.
Well,
interesting straight away.
The Just Dance seasons work like football seasons, Craig. It's the...
okay.
Yeah, it's just...
I get Ali McCoy the commentating over dancing, because that's what I want.
It's the 24-25 Just Dance season.
Yeah.
Pengi, you love a Just Dance game. You picking this up?
No, not me picking this up, no.
No, okay.
And also, weirdly, I don't really know what obviously it still sells and stuff for this game, and like they'll still bring it out on Wii for years because people would pick it up. But you have to, even in this advert, you have to Just Dance plus access to hundreds of songs. So if you got last year, surely just sub to the Just Dance Plus and get loads of new songs from that. Why do you even need to buy the 2025 edition of it? Just play last year's and get the season pass music thing.
Who knows?
This does have Green Day basket case, so...
It's a banger, to be fair. You're winning me over, Dave. Right. You're winning me over. That's winning me over more than Eno and Sia. So I have no idea who those people are.
We're old at this point.
We are old men yelling at clouds at this point. After that, we had Lego Horizon Adventures, which you'd already seen at the QD show, and we already knew this was coming to Switch. So we just kind of confirming it.
Yeah, we got the Switch renders, so we see how it's going to look on Switch, and it still looks pretty good.
Yeah, I was going to say it does. Now, showing on Switch, it does look surprisingly pretty good still on the Switch. There's a few rough bits you can point out, and like I guess if I put the PS5 version next to it, that's plastic's not as shiny, but yeah, it does look really good on the Switch.
Yeah, I think if I'm going to get it, I'll get it on Switch to play handheld for sure.
And after that, we had Stray getting a Nintendo Switch port as well,
which does not look good on Switch.
Again, I will say it does look better when you watch the video on handheld, but it still runs pretty bad. But yeah, it doesn't look quite as jarring on the OLED handheld because obviously it's a much smaller resolution. But if you haven't played it, I think it looks like it's a fine way to play the game.
Yeah. Then Davey, we had, and this is one for you, my boy. Tales of the Shire, a Lord of the Rings game. Basically, Lord of the Rings Animal Crossing, I think, from this.
The worst thing is this is actually previewing quite well.
This looks somewhat capable, right? I have no interest, but this looks like it might actually work, right? And if it works, then I feel like it's going to sell.
If we
these
could get
games always do, right?
Or it's not too expensive and it's like on Xbox, I feel like it's a stream that me and you could do and weirdly get addicted to it, like we did when we played Minecraft that time.
Yeah, maybe.
We'd get into character. You're telling me and you wouldn't talk in the Hobbit accents the whole video?
I think we already talked about that, didn't we, Dave?
Yeah, but even worse, Craigie.
Penguins, you hate Lord of the Rings, don't you? So
no, I don't hate it. No, it does. It looks fun. Again, it's like this mostly is, the Switch version, just like a bit rough. If it's on PlayStation or Xbox and isn't too expensive or in a service or something, I might give it a look. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the best Lord of the Rings game we've had in like 10 years or something, though.
Well, I mean, not much competition there.
As I say, when did Shadow of War come out?
Yeah, I was trying to. Yeah, that's why I said 10 years. I'm not really sure when that came out.
Right, now, boys, we're going to talk about a game series. And I'm going to hear both of you say how you want to play it and that. And none of you are. But it's Ace Attorney. Pengles, tell me how you're excited to play this, but you're never going to play it.
I'm not that excited to play it. I guess it's exciting that some of these games are now leaving Japan, especially the weird point-and-click adventure one when playing as Edgeworth, stuff like that, and like a different style of the Ace Attorney games. That thing, but yeah, no, I'm not that bothered about that.
Okay, Davey, you bothered?
No, you're the Capcom guy, Craigo, so I leave this to you. When we talk about Mega Man and Street Fighter, you can call me up, but for everything else, you're Mr. Capcom. So it'll come to Game Pass, I expect, like the other ones did. This looks relatively interesting, like Chris said. It's a slightly different style. It looks like you can change between graphic styles, much like you could with Halo, so that's quite cool. But, yeah, not for me.
No. After that, we had what is a very odd-looking game, and I had to quickly skip through the trailer there as you were talking to give me any insights to what the hell this is. And that's the 100-line Last Defense Academy, which is coming in early 2025, apparently. It looks like it's some sort of tactical smoz anime. Very anime. It looks very weird.
Danganronpa, but with a tactical battle system. It's the Danganronpa. It's the Danganronpa people. It's a very similar plot to Danganronpa, but you've got a tactical battle system instead of it just being like a point-and-click adventure.
Okay. Not for us then.
No, probably not.
After that...
No, because even though I like Danganronpa, I still haven't played...
How many Danganronpa games have you actually finished, Chris?
2.
Okay.
Out of... There's 4 of them, I believe. Something. I haven't even played the Detective Raincoat game from a Danganronpa person, but I feel like this looks even more Danganronpa than that game. But I feel it's a bit like, you remember when everyone was like, "Oh, that I worked on BioShock," thing. It feels like, "Oh, I worked on Danganronpa," sort of like. Feels a little bit like that.
Indeed.
Yep. And then after that, we had Romancing Saga 2: Revenge of the Seven. I'm sure they're going to be revenging the 6th, right? That's what we're doing here.
Nice.
This is coming in on October 24th. Once again, it looks like an anime sort of game. Did either of you play Romancing Saga 1, I guess?
No, not a series I'm that interested in, Saga. It's the weird Square Enix side series.
Yeah, it's most probably. I even watched a video. Someone they played every Saga game because we had Saga Emerald released, and it's like, yeah, this is the one of the worst JRPG series around. Why Square are remaking Saga 2? I don't know. It looks better than the other Saga games we've had.
It looks fine. It just looks so generic when you think you've got Visions of Mana, which is a similar looking game that's going to be better. They did all those games last year and the year before that are similar looking games. It's just a bit. It was a weird game to have to essentially be the second last game we see.
I do like a Square Enix very mid JRPG, but I feel the October is pretty busy of games.
Yeah, sad times. And then to round it all off, boys, we had a game which apparently was first announced in 2017.
It was.
And it's finally, I guess, been reshown and been announced for next year, and that is Metroid Prime 4 Beyond.
Beyond.
Davey, were you jumping up and down and swinging everything in the air for this?
It was a really good trailer. I'll be honest. It looks very, very Halo vibes, Craig. I'll be honest. Very Halo vibes from that opening segment they showed. Yeah, I think it's cool. I think it, to me, looks too good to be on the Switch. That's the only thing I will say. Some of the effects they're using, I'm like, oh, is this just a Switch game? But yeah, cool that it looks like Metro Prime. It's a sequel. It follows on the story. It looks really good. Yeah. Hopefully it's a bit more modern. It looks already like, so if you watch the footage in the top corner, there's like a normal map, because that was a real big problem with the Prime remaster. This just looks a lot more modern. It's been a long time, right? So, but I think this looks really good. I think this is already an easy fantasy critic pick for next year for me. I think this is gonna do really well, and I think people are gonna really like it.
Yeah, this will go early, definitely, won't it? Pengi, one that you're excited for, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I can't wait to play it on my Switch too.
Yeah, I think this will be at minimum a cross release, as in like if this comes out in March. Well, obviously we don't know when the Switch 2 is coming out. I still low-key think the Switch 2 could come out middle to end of next year, because like Craig said, they have
I think it will be.
They have plenty of games to sell consoles.
And Pokemon ZA's early next year as well.
Yeah,
so.
which again will put another 10 million, 20 million here there, right? But I think this is really cool. I think this will come out, and then at minimum they'll do like an update patch. You put it in the Switch 2 and it runs better. But yeah, really promising look to 2025 already. And this is one of those.
Absolutely, and that was it, boys. That was the Nintendo Direct. So I guess we'll go around and do a little overview and give it a score out of 5, Dave.
I maintain a 5 out of 5. I think it's pretty good. It's not perfect, but I'm not gonna do like 4.8. So what's the point? But yeah, if you were to compare it to the Xbox show, for example, it has much higher highs for me than the Xbox show, but much lower lows. Like the Farmagias are much worse than the mid games that are in the Xbox show. But yeah, really good show. Lots of games to play. 4 or 5 games for this year. Stuff we weren't expecting. Big franchises. Yeah, I think it's a pretty exciting time to play on Nintendo.
Hell yeah! What about you, Pengi?
I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5, because there was 5 games in there that I do want to play, sort of thing, but only like 2 of them. And now 6. Mario Luigi's still like the iffy. So there's like 6 games I want to play there, but like 3 of them on my Nintendo. All the rest I will either most probably be playing on PlayStation, unless they come to like Game Pass or something on the Xbox sort of thing. So there was a lot of content, and like Dave said, there is like the real loads of your Farmagias and your Demper men and stuff like that, which like you compare it to Xbox and stuff. Like, what was the lowest thing of the Xbox one? The expansion pack for ESO or something, yeah, sort of thing. So yeah.
What did you give the State of Play out of interest?
3. You gave it a 3.5.
Okay, same. Yeah. So it's as good as the
yeah. But State of Play, there's 9 things I want to play coming out of the State of Play. So
okay, Craig, what about you?
I mean, for me, it's always weird doing Nintendo, because I could always see, like, there's a guy in work he's kind of a Nintendo guy, but he's more of a Pokemon guy, in fairness. He watched it and was just like, it was fucking wank. I can kind of see that, but I can also kind of see the Nintendo people being like, it's amazing. I thought it was pretty fun. I thought a lot of what they showed looked pretty enjoyable if you're into that sort of thing. I'm not gonna. I think I gave the PlayStation 1 a 4. I'm gonna go slightly below it, just because I can't really go higher as the same as this. The PlayStation 1 had games I really want to play, so I'll go 3.75.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's the end of SGF. So we get to move on to the final tots of the show, and that is the SGF Save Slot 3 Awards, hosted by Craig Warren.
Hell yeah!
Craig has got a bow tie on. Just to let everyone know.
Yes. I'm topless but with a bow tie on.
Exactly, and bottomless.
And shorts. So I gave the boys a list of awards and some kind of brief descriptions of what I was looking for here. Boys, we're gonna start with the negativity. We're gonna get the negativity out the way first, and then we can move on with our lives. All right. So we're gonna start with the Debbie Downer Award, whereas I tasked the boys with something you were looking forward to but left you disappointed. Pengi, what left you a little bit disappointed?
So I've got two sort of here. So I have a show.
If you want to give like an honourable mention, that's fine. Just Pengi, okay. We don't need 10 for everyone.
No. So I got a show which is obviously Summer Game Fest, because obviously it's replaced E3 and sort of thing, and Jeff has gone, I've come to save the day, and he comes with it's an 8 out of 10 show. And it's like, no, Jeff, it's like a 4 or 5 maybe, mate. Sort of thing. It's like 2 hours long, lots of adverts. Not great. I think I put it like second from bottom on my ranking on this sort of thing, so not great. And on a sort of dishonourable mention was part of Summer Game Chef though, was Slitterheads, which was like he was hyping up beforehand. We've seen it a few years ago from like the original devs of like Silent Hill. They've worked on Siren and stuff like that. Should be right up my street. It looks awful. It looks like a PS3 game, and like The Last of Us part 1 is a bit, this PS3 game is like, and that looked better than this sort of thing from like 13 years ago. Yeah, very disappointed.
Yeah, I get that. Dave, what left you feeling disappointed?
So my dishonourable mention was Silent Hill 2. I think it looks worse every time I see it. I didn't watch the Konami show afterwards, which is why it's only a dishonourable mention, because I've been told better, but it looked terrible. The character change looks awful. It just looks off, this game. Considering how good the Metal Gear Solid looked, I don't know how they've made Silent Hill look so bad. And the winner of what I've called the OOF award, Concord, just did an awful job explaining what it is and what they want you to do. Too long with a very cheesy derivative, that's a hard word for me to say, story trailer that went on too long, and then a gameplay where they didn't explain anything. And was somewhat interested in the concept when they first announced it, but after those 2 trailers I was like, this is gonna bomb, and it's gonna bomb hard. So yeah, how about you, Craigo?
My honourable mention is the Keeley show. I was just gonna give this to it, the award to it, because I went on a fucking long ass rant about this last week, so I won't go again, but I thought it was fucking shit. But I'm going to give the award to the Until Dawn remake, actually.
Wow.
Because, I thought that was looked very underwhelming again. I thought barely looked like a remake to me. Yeah, not impressed with that at all. So we move on. We next have the Dave Bellringer Award, which is the best indie game you saw. It's only fitting that, Dave, you kick us off with the award it's named after.
My honourable mention was Mio. I thought Mio looked really good and really interesting. Love the art style. Like I said, looks really good on the Switch. The winner of the coveted Dave Bellringer Indie Game Award goes to Darkest Dungeon 2. Good little trailer. Forgot the game was coming. Got excited about it all over again. Quite looking forward to playing it. But yeah, don't like indies, so it was never going to be much, I'll be honest. But yeah, Darkest Dungeon 2, I like the look of.
Hell yeah. Pengi?
So I've gone for Never, which is the new game from the devs of Gris, which is a game that I really liked on the Switch. It's still in like my top 30 of Switch games, sort of thing. So excited to play their new one. Weirdly, the trailer was at Summer Game Fest, and see what that turns out. I know people have had hands-on with it and seem to have liked it from the Summer Game Fest thing. So yeah, looking forward to that one.
How about you, Craig?
Oh yeah, that is one of my honourable mentions, Pengi. I thought that looked pretty damn good. My other honourable mention I'm going to shout out is Ken, just because it's like Jasant, right? So I like Jasant.
Yeah, that was one I was thinking of. I had like 5 or 6 indies in mind.
Yeah, yeah. But the winner I'm gonna give for me is, I don't even know how I say this. Is it Possession.
Possessors.
Yeah, that from Devolver Digital, and this is made by the people who made like Solar Ash and that sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
Looked like a very stylish 2D platformer with a bit of combat as well.
Yeah. See, that game is like, you know, like we're getting these triple I games, and we even had that triple I direct. I feel that sort of falls into like that category now. It's like an indie that even Dave might check out because it's like quite a big game.
Well, I don't know if this just didn't scream Dave Barry to me.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you.
you know what I'm trying to say. You know, it's not like, you know, Dave likes, you know, the female characters trying to find herself sort of indie. It's, you know,
If it's got gameplay, it stands a chance, which is most
There's
of the
a
stuff.
man with horns at one point, I'm pretty sure. So there you go.
yeah.
I
was also thinking.
I need to go to Solar Ash as well. That's
I was also thinking of Dungeons of Hinterberg and Creatures of Ava, which were both shown at some shows as well, which are both actually Game Pass games.
They are.
They are. Moving on, we've got the Polished Turd Award, which is the game you thought would be underwhelming, but won you over. Pengles, what did you think was going to be underwhelming?
So
You turned out to like.
So a game's gonna win 2 awards here for like 2 different
I knew
things.
this was going to happen as soon as Dave said that.
It's Silent Hill 2, because obviously it was at the State of Play. It looked dreadful at the State of Play again, and it's like the 2 times it's been there, it's not looked good. And then we had that Silent Hill transmission later on in the evening. Watched it the next day because it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and they showed like 20 minutes of actual gameplay of the thing, and like James going through the hospital and that. It looked miles better. If that transmission hadn't have happened, I would have gone, like mostly agreed with Dave on that game. But yeah, that transmission was like is so much better when they're actually just showing the game. Thanks. So yeah, Silent Hill 2.
Hell yeah. Davey, what wins your Polished Turd Award?
My award goes to South of Midnight, which had an initial story trailer, I think, last year. Didn't really tell us much, so I didn't have much expectation. But the gameplay they showed was actually very impressive. I really like the sort of claymation style. It kind of looks like Kena Bridge of Spirits, which looks quite fun, but like a little bit more, I wouldn't say polished, but like a little bit more budgety, I suppose. But yeah, really, really impressed. And I think it's going to be a really cool game. And again, it's coming to Game Pass, so yeah, quite excited, actually.
Yeah, that was actually my honourable mention, Davey. Again, I had no... We obviously saw that like trailer for it at their show last year. It looked very good, but I had very little faith that it was ever going to look anything like that. But fair play to them. That trailer they showed was very, very good. But I'm going to give the award to Dragon Age: The Veilguard boys.
Yeah.
Because I had absolutely no faith in this, I'll be honest. I thought BioWare were deader than dead. And when they showed that first trailer at the Xbox show, I mean, I didn't think it was as bad as everyone else thought, but I still thought it didn't look great.
It just was a bit misleading, I think.
Yeah. But then when they showed their gameplay kind of showcase that they did, I thought it looked absolutely brilliant. The people who did the 45-minute hands-off preview seem to be absolutely glowing about this, so I'm definitely won over for Dragon Age. That's one I'm looking forward to coming this year. Yes. Could be my first BioWare game, boys. Who knows?
Yeah. See, I don't know. There's something I just can't put my finger on it. Plus, like Avowed's coming this year as well. You know, the fantasy RPG gaming.
I thought Dragon Age looks incredible. I agree with Craig. It's got to hit at the right time for me. But I love the last games, so looks cool.
Yeah, definitely. Next up, we had the That Fucker Came Out of Nowhere award, which is a game you've never heard of that blew you away. Our start on this one, my honorable mention is Expedition 33, just because it's from a studio we'd never heard of, from a publisher we'd never heard of at the time until we looked it up, and that game looked fucking incredible. I'll throw out another quick honorable mention to Dynasty Warriors Origins, because I popped like crazy for that. I didn't know I needed that in my life. But I'll give my award to Mixtape, because I thought that looked fucking incredible at the Xbox showcase, and another game from Beethoven and Dinosaur is what I need in my life. So yeah, that wins the That Fucker Came Out of Nowhere award for me. What about you, Pengi?
I gave mine to Expedition 33 because like you said, never heard of the studio, never had the publisher. Like you said, afterwards, we're like, oh yeah, I actually own loads of their games, but like never heard of the studio, and it's like yeah, and like a turn-based high budget game in this day of age is like rare as well. That isn't from like Atlas or Square Enix, sort of thing. So yeah. Very pleased with that one. Weirdly, I totally forgot about Mixtape because I could even put that for indie.
I was going to, but I didn't want to have it twice.
Yeah.
Davey?
So it's the first time we've all agreed on something, but yeah, Expedition 33 is my honourable mention. I was blown away by that trailer. I can't wait to play it next year on Game Pass. The only reason I've not given it the main award is because it's next year. But my biggest surprise was New World Eternum, which is obviously a sort of consoleized version of New World, which was a MMO by Amazon. Watched, obviously the trailer looked pretty good, and then they did a sort of gameplay showcase of the console stuff. Afterwards it looks really, really fun. Gameplay looks pretty tight, actually. It looks quite Kingdoms of Amalur-y. And yeah, I mean, as we'll get to later, I always fancy the idea of a console-based MMO, so yeah, quite tempted, quite interested with that. I was just not expecting anything from it. So
unless because they were talking about their stuff, they went hands on with Kind of Funny and stuff. I'm sure Greg said they've made it more single player-y as well.
They're selling it as an action RPG, not like that's what they're selling it as. It's just an action RPG that happens to be like 2,000 players on a thing, but they're definitely going the solo player route. But you can team up for like the bigger content. But yeah, I've signed up for the beta. Quite looking forward to it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think Snowbite Mike was quite impressed with that one as well.
Yeah.
After that, the next award we've got, this is the classic Console Warrior Award, boys. Who won E3? Chris Pengelly, you're going to tell us why PlayStation won E3, and me and Dave are not going to judge you.
No, you didn't clarify it was the showcase of the summer.
Scrap that. Tell us why PlayStation won. Go on.
Because they statistically had the most games there. Thing. So if you were only a PlayStation owner and you watched all 700 shows, you would have the most games to look forward to.
But if you were only a Playdate owner, you'd love the Playdate show the most.
Yes, you would.
Nothing takes fun and love out of video games more than Chris Pengelly saying the words statistically.
Yes.
But there we go. Yes. You believe whatever you want to believe, Chris.
Yeah. I just think if you're at home and it's like you watch that, like I know people on like in the Tired Old Hack, sort of Discord and stuff like that, only Nintendo people, and watch the Summer Game Fest, and like there was like 2 games for us in that was like shit. We were shit anyway. But if you only on PlayStation and watched it, at least you could come away and go, well, there's 10 games there for me to play, sort of thing.
Yeah, but you could say that for all 3 of the main platform holders. There's at least 10 games for both, but whatever. You do, Chris.
Yeah, but yeah, best showcase was Xbox by a mile. So.
Davey, who won E3?
That was Xbox. For both counts, they're the one that have come out of this with the better PR. The showcase was pretty incredible. They needed a win. They haven't had too many this year with all the stuff that's going on. I don't know how you can look at any of it and be like PlayStation. I think PlayStation had a really crap show, but.
Yeah, I think it's all about the fun and the joy of this like little 2 weeks we get, right? It's all about the hype. It's all about what's everyone talking about, and for me, that's clearly Xbox.
Yeah.
Definitely. Next up, we've got the most hyped for 2024. I've actually written 2014 here, so that's
nice.
Quite funny.
Good year.
Yeah. This is what is your most hyped game coming out this year after Summer Game Fest? Dave, what are you most looking forward to playing this year after all the shows?
So I didn't want to give the same award to this and the next award, to be honest with you, to the same game. So for this, I've gone for Mario and Luigi Brothership. Very, very excited to play that this year. Love the series. Like I said, I've played all the Mario RPG games recently. Very much drinking the Kool-Aid. So yeah, very excited to play this. Very, very excited to play this.
Hell yeah. Pengi? Agos? Have we killed him, Dave?
It's the PlayStation madness. No, he says he's still here. But we'll go to you.
Yes, until
because we can't hear
Pengi. Yeah. I'm just going to give it to Astrobot, Davey. I thought that was absolutely phenomenal, and especially after playing Astrobot's Playroom, that has kind of invigorated my excitement. Almost like how when I bought my PlayStation 5, I had to like rush through Miles Morales before I played Spider-Man 2, right? And that kind of got me even more excited for Spider-Man 2. That's how I feel for Astrobot. Right, I believe Penguins is back now. Pengi, you're going to tell us.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Game now?
I don't know what happened because I had like a bit where Dave sounded like a robot, and then you can hear me though afterwards. I hear you talking about Astrobot, and Astrobot is also my most hoped 2024 game as well.
Hell yeah! And then to round it all off, boys, just your game of the show, just your favourite thing that you saw over the last couple of weeks. Davey, hit us with your game of the show.
So, like I said, I gave Mario and Luigi most hyped, just because to be different, really. But yeah, Astrobot is the game of the show for me. Had the best trailer, had the best reaction. Like no one was excited for anything as much as that game. And yeah, I think it's going to be the best PlayStation game this year by a long way. So I'm excited. It keeps the PlayStation alive for a bit. It looks like it's going to be a real celebration of it as well. So. Yeah, cool. It's going to be a fun game. It's one of those things, it's very rarely a absolute bang on with video games, but there's no way this isn't going to be a great game. So, very excited about
Absolutely. Pengi, what was your game of the show?
It's the Wellington hamster died.
Yes.
Pengi, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I don't know what's happened. I don't know.
Okay. We can hear you now.
Let's get your game of the show then, Pengi, before you die again.
Yeah. My game of the show is Monster Hunter Wilds.
Okay.
Yep. Which had 2 trailers. It had one at State of Play and then one at Summer Game Pass. It is fantastic. Probably not just my game of the show, my most anticipated game for next year at the moment. And after watching the 2 trailers of Wilds, I went back and played Worlds again, which last time I played like another 15 hours, and actually finished that game. So very excited for Monster Hunter Wilds.
What about you, Frogo?
Yeah, I think Jez had put a preview up for that as well, because I think they were showing some behind those doors
reviews and stuff.
He was absolutely glowing about it, so that's exciting, definitely. For me, my game of the show, I'm going to say Doom: The Dark Ages. Just because I fucking love Doom Eternal, boys, and there was a fucking shield with a chainsaw around the outside, boys, and he was on a dragon, and there was a mech, and it just looked everything I would want a Doom game that in medieval shit to be. It was great. It's not till next year. It's a little bit of a shame that it leaked like it did, but yeah, fantastic. And that's it, boys. That's the Save Slot Free 2024 Summer Game Mess Awards.
Lovely. Well done your hosting duties there, Craigo.
Hell yeah.
Nice. Well, we'll end the show, as we always do. An hour and 20. God, I'm so looking forward to the next show being like 45 minutes, boys. And what we've been buying, playing, and etc. Let's start with Chris while he has internet.
Yeah, so... it hadn't turned up last week, but it had turned up during the week, and I put up the video of my apology to Xbox. My Series S arrived, so I've downloaded a few things on that. One of the things I have downloaded is Hellblade 2, which I was hoping I would have actually had finished. So I can talk about it. I feel I'm near the end of the game now, but yeah, looks ridiculous. Like, obviously I'm playing on Series S, but it does look really good. I think it does help that it's the weird letterbox cinematic, and when Senua is fighting, it goes really close. It goes zooms in and stuff on the 2 characters and stuff like that. How they've done the cinematography and things of the game. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. I think it's surprising. I don't think when we get to the Game of the Year awards at the end of the year, and I don't think it'll be up for Game of the Year, but I can definitely see it being nominated for the technical stuff and best acting and all that coming the end of.
If it doesn't win best visuals, I don't know what happens to the world.
Yeah, so it's I guess the best visual ones. So, like, it's like technical achievement. I think it can definitely win. That sort of thing, and acting and all that sort of direction. That's always a good one. Thing. I think it can actually weirdly win quite a few awards, but like wouldn't win like Game of the Year. Sort of win or Best Action Adventure Game. It'll win like all the like dev typey awards, if that makes sense. But yeah, really enjoying what I'm playing of that so far. I've not played anything else on anything, and I do have one other pickup though, and that's Still Wakes the Deep, physical on PS5, which I've not started yet because I wanted to finish Hellblade 2 first. But it looks like it's an easy-ish platinum, so that could be thing. Yeah. Actually, Sly Cooper. Sorry, I don't think I finished that last week. I finished Platinum Sly Cooper on PS5 as well.
Lovely. Oh, is that everything, Pengi?
Mm-hmm.
Great go.
On the PlayStation, me and you, Davey, finished Sackboy finally.
We did.
Which is a fun ass time, isn't it? It's a great little game.
Yes.
Did get us with the ending, right? I think we'd been playing for an hour or so, and we were like, oh, we'll keep going until we get to the final boss, and then we beat the final boss, and it's like, oh, that's not the final boss. There's a bit more, so we had to go back in for another go, right? But yeah, very very much enjoyed Sackboy. Great little game. And then the only other thing I've played on PlayStation is more Tchia, which I'm playing on the Portal. It's very much just an open world game. There's some story in there, but not a huge amount. But it's very good for handheld. It looks very pretty. It's got some quite satisfying mechanics. It's got a lot of like mini games, like a lot of the story. There'd be like a cutscene in that, and then it would go into like a little rhythm-based bit where you're playing a ukulele. That's quite fun. It's got some like little like challenge areas, but before you get to challenge areas, you've got to carve a totem pole face thing, which matches the totem pole up there. It's very simple, but it's weirdly like satisfying to do. I don't think there's a huge amount of like story content. I think the idea is that you do the story and then you just have some fun in the sandbox and you do some of the world. I think the platinum's quite difficult because there's a lot of stuff to do, so I can't imagine I'd be going for that, boys. But I am enjoying what I've played of that so far. And then on Xbox, boys, I have now finished Hellblade 2.
Woo.
I think it took me about 7 hours to beat the main first go round, and then I was like, I'm going back in. Let's chapter select this time, boys. Let's get the fucking completion this time. So I did go back in and get the completion, which according to True Achievements took me 10.5 hours. I've spoke about it a lot last week, so I won't repeat all of that, but I really liked it. I thought they improved pretty much everything from the first game. Don't really understand how this review is worse than the first game when pretty much every aspect, in my opinion, is better.
It's only on Xbox, and that's why I bought
it. Yes. They did some cool stuff as well. The chapter select, so that you can, once you've beaten the game, you can actually go into the menu. You can change the narrator to the kind of companions that you meet along the way, and then they'll be narrating instead of the default one, which is pretty cool. I changed it whilst I was doing the chapter select. Obviously, I didn't experience all of it because I was just jumping around all over the place. It definitely adds something to the story. I did think the companions that you meet along the way are really good as well. I enjoyed their story a lot. So that's Hellblade 2 finished. And then I was going to start Still Wakes the Deep, but I was like, I'm going to wait a little while and let people figure out the achievements, right? And then I can see if there's missables and all of that good smoz for that sort of game, and then maybe try and go for the completion. So instead I started Little Kitty Big City, which I always struggle saying for some reason, which is very much like an Untitled Goose Game sort of thing. From what I've played so far, I think it's better actually than the Untitled Goose Game. It's kind of like an open world, like some like Metroidvania aspects, kind of ish, very light obviously. But it's just a very chill game where it's just giving you some like silly objectives, and you just run around as a cat and you try and do these objectives. It's got quite a high completion percentage, so I've got a guide that I'm following kind of in the background, but I'm kind of doing an area on my own, and then I'm just kind of looking at it and going, oh, did I miss any collectibles whilst I'm in this area? So I can kind of do it without having to go back over everything twice. But yeah, it's a fun, silly little game. If you liked Untitled Goose Game and that sort of thing, then you're probably gonna like this. If you didn't, then you're not gonna like this.
It is what I've installed on the S.
Yeah. I think you quite like Untitled Goose Game, so I think you might like this. But yeah, that's it for me, Davey. What about you?
Nice. Well, obviously on PlayStation, all I've played is Sackboy with you, Craigo. A lot of fun. Game was very overshadowed when it came out, I think, by Playroom. But yeah, it's a really fun game. We enjoyed it. We're not going to go for the 100% because we don't have that kind of coordination in us. But yeah,
God, no.
But that takes me down to 2 games still installed on my PS5, so I can't see me playing much of it for a little while. And of course, we'll now move on to Diablo.
Hell yeah!
Our multiplayer game. Hopefully, Pengels will join us. But that's...
I have got it downloaded.
There we go. Make a character, Pengi. Get a few levels up. We're not too far, me and Craig. So that was on PlayStation. On Xbox. What should I even start with? So I'm playing. Did I talk about Alan Wake last week?
No, I didn't think you even started it.
Yeah, okay. Just started it. I think.
Yeah, so I'm still playing Alan Wake. I'm not that far from the end. I think I'm probably one more game session, maybe 2 from the end. Really enjoying it. It's not very scary. It's weird, and I love that. It feels like a 360 game, but like in a good way. Really enjoying that. It's just one from the backlog, really. Obviously more WRC 10 on Xbox because it's my racing game of choice. You know that it's one of those things that don't stop. I did actually play probably about 8 hours of Final Fantasy 14 with the free trial version you get on Xbox now, and I've had to uninstall it because I literally found myself enjoying it too much. I was like, why am I sat here for 4 hours doing quests? Like, why have I started streaming the bloody Dragon Quest they had? And I was like, oh no, I can't let this get in. Really fun game.
You have to sell the Xbox again, Dave. You can't do the temptation.
It's on everything, Craig. It's even on Mac.
God.
But yeah, really great game if you've got the time. I think it's one of those. I think that's why I think something like New World tempts me more because it's way more single player than Final Fantasy. And then on the Switch, ye old Nintendo Switch. Obviously, I'm the only person keeping it alive. I've just been playing No More Heroes because it's been in my backlog for a while. Obviously, it's a hack and slashy Wii game. It's a weird game, but kind of fun. But yeah, that's all I've played.
The third one for that is on Game Pass now, and I'm always like, oh, do I go? Because it looks like a Ray game. It looks very silly.
The third one is supposed to be the worst one, but I think it's on Game Pass. You might as well give it a go, right? They're silly ass fun games. Yeah, I'm enjoying that. But yeah, my Switch will come into its own next week, really, if I'm honest with you. But there we go.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting when we get to our end of the year. You've got all these Switch games. And it's normally me with all the Switch games.
Yeah, you two be talking about weird indie games about emotions.
Yeah, we're both like, oh yeah, it wasn't Dungeon Hinterberg really good, Craig, and yeah, that stuff.
It's one of 3 games coming out in like a 2-day space on Game Pass, by the way. But anyway.
Yeah.
Well, if you've made it this far, why have you made it this far? Seek help. But if you have, thank you. Drop a like, drop a subscribe, and we will see you in about 3 weeks' time because I'm going on holiday for the next 2 weekends. So unless the boys get some initiative and do their own show without me, which I'm fully happy for them to do, we'll see you in 3 weeks' time.
There might be some content going up on the channel and stuff. Who knows?
Bye.
Bye.